Remember, there's some pretty important information here in the disclaimer. You might want to give the video a quick pause and read it.
Oh, hey everybody, it's me, Sonic the Hedgehog. Just here to remind you that if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button. And for even more amazing customs, don't forget to subscribe to Wake Angel 2001, because between you and me, they're way past cool.
Hello out there, this is Wake Angel 2001 coming at you on my birthday! Yay, happy birthday to me! Anyway, let's get back to doing stuff for other people. This is the next part of Fanatic Mitchell's commission. That's why I call him Mitch. It's kind of a tongue twister to say all that stuff. The SATAM version of Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, like the one I made for myself last month was a bit of a dry run. This is the one that's actually commissioned figure. But first, a quick little update to that Ganondorf figure I made. I remembered after I finished it that the guy wanted him to have his Phantom Ganon mask. And fortunately, that mask has been it's a piece of apparel you can wear in Breath of the Wild, apparently. So, it has a 3D model that is compatible with a printer. So, yay! The mask, it wasn't completely easy to print because it is a very thin little thing, and I did have to do a lot of hand sculpting to make the horns look right. In fact, the bottom two horns, like, I had to completely sculpt them from scratch because they couldn't be made. They wouldn't just come out in the printer, they were too small. But yes, I did make the mask, and it can be frictioned into place on the Ganondorf figure's face. So, yeah, that's a thing that it can do. It's not completely elegant, but it is functional. Alright, so with that being said, let's get here for what you actually want to see. Good old Saturday morning Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, Mitch was not satisfied with the modified classic Sonic head that I used last time. He wanted it to be even more accurate to the cartoon appearance. So he went far enough to actually commission Corey Sonic Fan, that's my model guy, to make an actual model of the Saturday morning Sonic's head. This is what I had done for the rest of the Saturday morning cast, but I didn't do it for my own Sonic because I was satisfied with the way that it looked before. But, you know, like, this is a thing that happened. So, yeah, Corey made these really nice models of Sonic and Tails. The Tails one is mine, because after all, I still had to make Tails for myself. And, yeah, this is where we are proceeding from here. The parts are 3D printed. In addition to the new head, there's also hands that have 3 fingers and a thumb, because, you know, cartoon. And he did make new feet, although I ended up having to discard them. Like, these feet are perfectly in proportion to how they were in the cartoon. Problem is that these sock cuffs are too small. The legs would not go into them. I tried to drill into them, and I ended up just kind of melting the cuff off because there was no way to get enough slack there for the leg to go in. So I just took the actual feet that the figure came in and carefully removed the buckle and sculpted over it. That's just how it had to be. And the body, of course, is exactly the same as last time. It's just Sonic's body with his 2 back spines removed and with the 1 big spine sculpted into place. And yeah, that's about it. He has a backpack this time because Mitch wanted him to have that backpack accessory since Sonic wore that thing in pretty much every episode of the cartoon, now that I think about it. And, you know, because it just kind of scratched credulity a little bit too much that the super speed Hedgehog fighting the guerrilla warfare against the robot man could just magically pull a magic ring that would give him powers like superpowers out of nowhere. Like, no, he had to have something to carry those things around with. Yeah. So, it's made out of craft foam. I didn't want it to be too heavy. And it has a simple slit cut into it that you just kind of slide over Sonic's spine. It holds itself very nicely on place with friction alone because it's so lightweight. And I made a couple of little handles with my 3D printer, which are not functional in holding it onto the Sonic figure. They just kind of make it look like he has straps. You know, it's all for aesthetic appeal. And of course you have the hands. One of them is sculpted in an open position so you can put a ring in there. Unfortunately, because of the big old sausage fingers, you can't really put the Jakks Pacific ring in there. But I think the Jazzwares one will hold in place. I gotta test it, but I gotta reach into my collection to get those rings out. If not, I'll make Mitch a 3D printed ring that I custom make to fit in there. So don't worry, Mitch. You will have a ring that he can hold, however it turns out. Okay, so let's get to that 3D printed head. It had to be in two pieces. One was the main round part of the head, and the others was the spines, which, of course, I had to do a test print on to make sure everything came out right. And, yeah, the spines were attached to the head, nice and seamless, because Corey's really cool that way, the way he can make the models work. And then came the painting. This was the one flaw. Check it out. Corey, when he made the model, he gave Sonic kind of a stoic face, like a line that went all the way down the middle of the muzzle, which so looks unnatural for Sonic. I tried to compensate by painting a little up curl on the edges of the mouth to make it look like he was smiling a bit more, but it's barely noticeable, and well, it makes his mouth look unnaturally wide. I feel like in order to make this look like a smile, he'd have to have a mouth that's pretty much as wide across as Sonic EXE. No, I do not want that kind of imagery. Although, I do kind of like how when you look at the head from this angle, it looks like he's doing the ooh face. Haha. So I ended up just sculpting over the mouth entirely and painting the traditional little smile on the side of the muzzle, because that's the best. Although, to Corey's credit, he did edit the model. He sent me a new version of the model that has the smile properly in its new place. It's just that I'm not going to go through all the effort of reprinting this head, waiting another 6 hours for the whole thing to get done, and then putting it back together and painting it from scratch when, with 2 minutes of sculpting, I could just cover up the muzzle as it exists, and I waited overnight for it to dry, so it's done. I finished it. I'm not going to do it a second time from scratch. And, of course, making the head stay on is a simple matter of putting some earbud rubber onto the neck peg to make sure it doesn't lose friction. And there we go. We have Saturday Morning Sonic in as accurate a form as is possible for me to do. And I gotta say, thanks to Corey's models and Mitch is pushing it to look a little better, this actually looks way more like a toy that would have existed in 1993 than what I made before. Here's a side-by-side comparison of the one that I made last month, where, the face does look more like the video game version of Sonic, but, admittedly, this just looks more like the cartoon. Better. So, there we go. Happy birthday to me. And thank you all for watching the video. This is Wake Angel 2001, signing off.